Hello, it's Mr. Colley, and today I'm going to explain the 13 colonies and how where they were located on this map geographically determined what they did for a living. It determined their economy. Okay, so I'm going to basically go into colonial sections today and explain the three sections that the 13 colonies were divided into. We had the New England or Northern colonies, we had the middle colonies, and we had the southern colonies. So these 13 colonies highlighted in blue are broken down into the northern, middle, and southern. Okay, now, New England colonies. Okay, now, what you have to understand about the New England colonies is that they had rocky soil. And based on the fact that they had rocky soil, they did not rely on agriculture as the southern colonies did. So the New England colonies had to look at other ways to make a living. They did this by shipping. Okay, they shipped goods back and forth. They were using their natural harbors for fishing, industry, manufacturing. Um, they were clearing forest. They were participating in timber removal and sending those natural goods to the king. Okay, the middle colonies, and that's the colony section, the section that we're from. A lot of students feel that we are northern. No, we are the middle colonies, where a lot of the wheat, bread, and grains were produced. Southern colonies. Now, based on the fact of the climate and land type of the southern colonies, now on the Regents exam, they're not going to say climate, weather type, climate, land type, weather. They're going to say geographical conditions. And geographical conditions were ideal for agriculture. Agriculture meaning farming. On the Regents, they are going to say agriculture and not farming. So you have to basically kind of swap out words. Remember, the Regents is just a play on vocabulary, and I will make sure I expose you to that vocabulary. So southern colonies relied heavily on agriculture. They used slaves as their labor source. Slaves worked on large commercial farms called plantations. So anytime you see the southern colonies on the Regents exam, southern colonies were basically heavily relied on by slave labor and by agriculture. Now, at the end of the day, yes, were these 13 colonies in the New World? 100%. But these 13 colonies at the end of the day had to answer to the king. So anything that the colonists made were sent to the king. I'm going to get to that in a second. So although the 13 colonies were independent physically, they still had to answer 13 colonies had to answer to the king. Now, mercantilism. This is an economic relationship between the king and the 13 colonies. The king set this up. The king benefits 100% from the system. So here's what the 13 colonies do. The 13 colonies provide the king with raw materials, and the king will sell back manufactured goods. The downside is this: the colonists cannot trade with anyone but the king, limiting their freedom, also limiting their ability to make more money, pay less money for goods that they're getting, and we all know money will buy you power, independence. It's not happening right now, but eventually it will. So the king is basically keeping the colonists almost in an adolescent stage, not letting the colonists grow. Okay, now the easiest way that I can associate mercantilism with, that you can make a connection with, say for example, New England. New England, they weren't practicing agriculture besides on survival mode, okay, like they were down south. Down south was the economy was solely based on agriculture. So New England had to figure out different ways to make money. So let's say, for example, in New England, they cleared a section of a forest. They took those timber, okay? So the timber from the trees, they sent to the king, All right, so they cut the trees down, they sent it to the king. The king breaks down the wood, manufactures the wood, makes desks, chairs, okay, supplies to make homes. Okay, now let's go down the south to associate that, make that association. So then, say down south, they were producing cotton. They would send the cotton to the king. The king would break that cotton down, sell back clothing. Okay, so that's the relationship that mercantilism is. Now, I just want to make sure you understand geographical conditions. It's climate and land type. Slavery flourished down south because of geographical conditions. I want you to understand that slavery flourished down south because, as the picture in the right, the land was fertile. There were large commercial farms, large plantations, and you could farm 365 days a year. The climate supported that. Up north, you cannot farm 365 days a year. Now, the picture to the left, that's more New England type landscape. If you live around natural harbors, fishing is going to be a big part of your economy. Okay, shipbuilding. Okay, clearing forests. Okay, that's going to be part of your economy. So what you have to understand is during colonial America, geographical conditions determined what these people did based on geography. Just want to do a recap, make sure you understand that geographical conditions, just examples of climate and land type. Fishing would take place during natural harbors, and obviously farming would be where the land is fertile. Remember, fertile soil means that you're able to grow crops. Okay. You understand geographical conditions if when you're looking at these two pictures, where would you farm? You picked the picture to the left. Okay, so I hope this brings in tight the connection and the understanding between geographical conditions and the economy of the 13 colonies. Okay, this should provide a good solid base foundation for you to understand the economies of the North and the South. I will see you guys in class. Have a great day.